Welcome back, boys, to the Lonely Road.
Cheers, cheers,
We're
cheers.
here on your journey to heal and become a better human. Use code RMTS to G Fuel. Love them. But happy holidays. Merry Christmas, you fuckers. All of that shit. We're recording this on the 20th. We had to record this shit before KJ's birthday, so happy birthday, KJ.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. 51. How am I 51 years old? That's
It
fucking
feels
crazy.
it feels weird to be 31. I didn't
It's
do that whole corny thing my mom did where she said she's only 29 and only turned 29 every year after she hit 30.
yeah, I didn't either.
So I guess I'm in a positive light in that sense. But
Yeah, no, I was pretty graceful with my aging as well. I feel I'm leaning into it. No hair dye. I'm going gray. See, on the sides, it's more than in the front. But yeah, I'm okay. I'm okay. But fuck menopause. I'm just gonna say that real fucking fast. Fuck menopause and everything menopause brings. Give me back. Give it back. Give me back my period. Just I don't care. It was inconvenient, but this menopause is for the birds because it affects everything. But yeah, no. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, whatever you celebrate, celebrate the best possible way you can. It's it's a hard time of year. It's a hard time of year, but it's becoming easier for me, which is nice. I have been just innately sad for so very long, and too long. But I couldn't make myself not be sad. So it's nice to have turned a corner in my grief, and I'm able to enjoy the things that are in front of me now. It's important.
well, I think that that was one of the big reasons why I wanted this topic as kind of the idea of like the next step after, fixing your family or fixing that relationship that you want or the holidays is it's as vague as you want it to be, but it could also be very, very direct is learning when to say yes. Because it's the hardest thing when you are down in the dumps, whether it's sad or whether it's depression, to be like, yeah, I'm gonna go do that, or yeah, I'll be there, or yeah, I'm gonna show up this time. And it's literally one of the most fucking important things you can learn how to do is learn to say yes more than you say no, but learn to say no when it fucking hurts, whether
Yeah,
it's physical or not. Sometimes you have to say no, but
yeah.
also learn that if you say no all the fucking time, god damn it, it's really hard to get back in that rotation of saying yes or even being asked the fucking question.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Like sometimes it's interesting because the holidays really do have a way of tearing us in a couple different directions, right? You know, on one hand, we want to protect our peace that we've worked so hard to obtain throughout the whole year. Set our boundaries, say no to things that are beyond what our energy can do and what our limits are, right? But on the other hand, you know, you don't want to say no all the time because these people aren't going to ask you over and over and over again. You know, these moments don't last forever. You know, people in my personal life, these kids are growing up faster than I can even think about, you know. So it it's interesting. I mean, it's very important to say yes. And sometimes that yes, even when it's uncomfortable, leads to that connection that you need, the healing that you need, and memories that you know. You, honestly, it sounds corny, but you'll be grateful for a lifetime, especially when you're in your older years.
Yeah, it's so weird because for so long I had to lead with no. Yeah, and you
Hmm.
do. Like
Yeah,
you
me too.
start a relationship, you start life, you start whatever. And those friends that you had in high school, the friends that you had in college and stuff like that, they dissipate as time goes on. And it feels like the reason that they dissipate is because you say no. It's totally and entirely because you give them less and less and less of the attention. Therefore, you fall out of their sphere. You fall out of that group. You fall out of that thing. And the second you're like, where'd all my friends go? It's probably because you started saying no. It probably started because you stopped showing up in the way that you did before. Whether that's a good thing or a bad thing is completely irrelevant, but you will wonder at some point what that innately is, because
Yeah,
it
you
will
can't
be.
shut you can't shut life out. Absolutely, it's healthy boundaries aren't about shutting, and the no's aren't about shutting life out. They're about choosing wisely on how we stay engaged, and you do need to say yes to stay engaged. So it's very important to be to be balanced between those two truths, and make sure you're saying no as that act of self-respect, that act of perseverance, because I too had to say no for a very long time, and and those people did. They stopped coming around. They stopped messaging. They stopped calling. They stopped, and that's okay. That's absolutely okay. That was, really by design. I isolated myself, and it was part of my healing. I needed to go into my cocoon, and I needed to spend those years transforming so that I could break out of the cocoon and have the wings. It's really like that. And it was really like that for me. I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it on the outside. I couldn't do it publicly. I couldn't do it with eyes. I had to go into my own. So it's the balance, and I think that that's going to be the big thing on the show today, is making sure that we highlight the yeses and the nos, but also why the balance is so important.
Yeah, and I may be weird, but I feel like the balance of what this actually should be and what it is in most people's lives is very, very, very fucking skewed one way. And it's the reason why a lot of us are depressed and don't want to do things and don't want to, have people around and stuff like that, is because we expect everyone to give, and we
Mhm.
give as little as we possibly fucking can. And it's one of the weirdest things when you actually look at it. You're like, "Oh, when was the last time I asked to do anything?" And it's like, "Oh, fuck. Well, I am the asshole then." Like,
Yeah,
and I want to give everybody credit. And I don't normally do this because I like letting people live in quiet, because I think some people need it. But that part, not party, but like memorial that we had for Joshua last year, I think showed Bree that it can be okay.
yeah,
And I want to say this because even Brenda, who lives, 4 or 5 hours away, didn't show up to be there at the pizza place, but showed up that exact weekend to make sure she was okay too and was a part of things and everything else.
hmm
And not a single person I asked to be there said no. Like, we initiated a fucking support group within minutes. It was okay. It was solidified. It was a thing without really putting the effort and energy behind it.
yeah. And these are people that you had in your isolation isolated yourself from individually, in one way or reason, for one reason or another, and that's not important right now. But the fact is that you isolated yourself from them, and the bonds between y'all were strong enough to bring you back together when you needed that support, and that's important. That's important too, because it shows that you can isolate. I mean, the why of you isolating wasn't extremely healthy. It's really not healthy to isolate, but sometimes it's necessary. But that being said, that's a whole nother isolation is a
No,
whole nother topic.
the point of it was like, as a whole, yeah, it took 15 years to get all of those people back in the same room. Sure, that's crazy in itself. But the fact that nobody said, "Hey, what I'm dealing with is more important right at this second." We all
Right.
came together
That's what
to
I mean.
make sure that we all kind of had that,
Mhm.
even if somebody was dealing with shit.
Right.
You
And
know what I'm saying?
everybody's dealing with shit. Yep.
We all came together. We all said, "Yeah, right now is the time when not only Zach needs us, but we all need each other.
Mhm.
Let's come together and show that, hey, it doesn't have to just be family reunions and funerals and everything else that everybody shows up to. It can be little things like this where it's like, hey, this is a sad time, but it's okay. We can walk out of this."
Yeah, yeah, for sure. For sure. I mean, it It was beautiful. It really was. It was. It was just beautiful. It was, and I'm glad that she got that out of her in her childhood. Maybe she didn't have that sense of community. Maybe she didn't, have those people that would, rally around her, regardless of whether it had been 15 years or not. Um, and she saw it, and she was able to see it, and that's awesome. And that's, when saying yes like that, it's one of the yeses for me, and that was difficult. It was difficult, but it was necessary. You know, it was a difficult yes because it was the first time that we had seen each other in a long time, and it was difficult because I was coming out of, but still in isolation mode. And there was a lot of people, and I'm not a people person. We're getting together in a restaurant. And again, with people I haven't seen in 15, 20 years. So it was a layered thing for me. Not that it's all about me, but that's part of this episode is the courage in saying yes. You have to have that courage. You have to have that uh, ability or light within you to be able to say yes, because isolation can be fucked up because it's the subtle line between whether you're resting and that's the healthy
Now,
withdrawal or withdrawing altogether.
I'm going to make a lot of people shit themselves, and I'm going to need you to explain it the best you possibly can. How much did saying yes to going to that dinner and everything else change your healing even?
Oh, it was a pivotal moment, and specifically the healing between you and I.
Yeah.
It was absolutely a pivotal moment in that, that you knew that I was still there for you. I withdrew from I withdrew first, from the whole situation. I left. I
Yeah.
went out west and did not keep in touch as I should have, as I knew I should have. But for reasons, I was worried about my own self and getting myself on track, and that was the selfish part of what I was going through. But that being said, I didn't do it, and so that was me saying, yeah, and then you had to withdraw for your own reason. When I had come back, you had to withdraw again for that reason. So it was just like a withdrawal, and then coming back into the fold. It's a connection it makes a difference. The obligation, the intention, showing up, whether it's imperfect or not. You don't have to be perfect to show up. It's
Yeah,
okay.
and I thought about this. I don't remember if it was last time or the episode before that, where you talked about finally going to see your dad and your brother on Christmas, and like, oh, I can't give that much time, but I said yes, and that stuck out to me because like that shit matters. And it might not matter right at this second, but it matters as a whole when you sit back and look at it. It's the reason why you're able to still be in the fucking conversation.
Mhm.
Because if you said no, that's a slight, that's a negative, that's a fuck you in some circumstances, because you're putting your depression, your feelings, your emotions, whatever that is in that situation, above whatever the fuck they like. Even if it's just, I want to fucking see you, I care about you, I want to make sure you're okay. If you say no in those circumstances, sometimes that does come across as a negative. It does come across as a no, fuck you. It's like, dude, I want you out of this. I want you to be okay. I want to help you to the light. And sometimes people don't really realize saying no is spitting in their hand and being like, hey, yeah, deal with it.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely know how it can be perceived that way. There's just some time, um, you know, in my deep grief, in my it's very complicated, trust me, but in my deep grief, it was very hard for me to show up because I mean, there were times, I mean, there was a block of time where I didn't, and that was um that was me. You go out of your house, and no matter what you're faced with, it's a punch right to the fucking gut, and then you start to cry because everything is that person. For a
Yep.
while
And
afterwards, I
I
couldn't deal.
I think I may have it figured out, or I may just be an asshole and egotistical and think that I have everything figured out.
Two things can be true at
But
one time, buddy.
hey, I know. Um, Do you feel like it is more guilt than worrying about everything being that person? It is guilt of, oh my God, life can be okay. Oh my God, yeah, this person's gone, but like there's still more here.
For
And you don't
me,
want to make it okay. You don't want
yeah,
to feel happy again because this person was fucking everything. So
yeah,
I need to live in this shit because I can't give myself the credibility to be fucking okay.
right. Right. First and foremost, I'm not okay. So I can't fake and portray I'm okay. I've never been a fake person. I've always been
Mhm.
very genuine. And I think that that's as much my best quality as it is my worst in a lot of cases. So it can be bad. It can be bad. It can be really bad because you leave yourself vulnerable a lot. But
Yep.
I'd rather be genuine than be ingenuine or disingenuine or whatever the fucking thing word you want to use is. I'd rather be raw. But at that point, I couldn't be raw in public, and I didn't. Yeah, it was.
I
It
think
was.
I think that's why people struggle with me in those situations. And like looking at it is like I am the one that will fucking make the entire room light up just like Ava did that night when we were all at the fucking restaurant.
Right.
I'm the smart ass who will fucking breakdance in the middle of a fucking restaurant at fucking 4 years old because I just want people to smile.
Right. Right.
But like, I'm the one who will pop a joke when it is completely uncomfortable and everybody doesn't fucking want to laugh. But you know what? We have to fucking laugh. It feels like those situations, those things like where, a laugh is meaningful and everything else, those things are the reason why there is that struggle coming to terms with, hey, I don't want to go outside today. I don't want to say yes to go to the amusement park. I don't want to say yes to go to the concert or the thing that we're going to fucking enjoy today because I'm supposed to be fucking mad. I'm supposed to be sad. I don't
Yeah.
want to fix this.
No. For a while, it was like that for me. It was. It really was. It was. First of all, my mom's not here, and like that deep, deep sadness I was just talking about. And the second prong of it was, my mom's not here, so you know, I'm gonna. There was a point where I felt guilty if I moved forward. You know what I mean? She's not here. If I'm not sad, am I remembering her correctly? Or am I doing, you know what I mean? But I had to get over my deep sadness. I had to get through some things that I had to get through personally um, in order to get past that. Because I really, in last year, specifically the last year, but the last 2 years, 3 years um, have been pivotal in my journey. And since we started the podcast, it's just kind of we put the accelerator on it because I'm talking about it. And it's okay to get on. It's okay for me now. I can. I'm out of my cocoon and I'm able to be raw in front of the people that want to listen to the pod. And it's okay for me now. Um, it
And
was
I think it also lends you a credibility of like, I'm trying to fucking handle this. I'm a fucking dipshit who has absolutely zero idea of what I'm doing and how to do this. But this is what I'm dealing with. This is how I'm doing. This is what's going on and how I'm growing from it and everything else. Guess what? The thing that I did wrong was I isolated myself. The thing that I did wrong was this or that. And if I held myself accountable in these situations better, this situation happens better.
right.
And I think that all of those things change based off of how you interact in the world, how everybody interacts in the world.
Yeah.
If you don't isolate yourself because you're depressed and everything else, and you say yes, you get into that weird pseudo state of like, why am I happy when I shouldn't be?
Yeah. No, yeah. I mean, that was big, and it took a turn in framing in your mind to be able to take that turn. To you're not leaving them behind. If you are feeling happy, you're not leaving them behind. If you choose, or if once you get past that deep grief, you're not leaving them behind. If you're feeling happy again, it's okay. Um, but I had to redefine the boundaries to get out of that cocoon because it it's very easy to fall into the avoiding the pain, avoiding any of the pain because it's just so overwhelming. So I had to, like that thing at my dad's with, the Christmas. It was, yes, I said yes, I did the yes, but for X amount of time. I was able to be there for 30, 40 minutes. And that's what I could handle. I didn't say no. Um, and I'm saying no less and less now. But I'm putting my boundaries on it. I'm allowed to protect my energy, but and when still saying yes, um, and that's okay, because I'm creating new traditions. Um, Not that the old ones I don't have. I have some that I have, and I have some that I weave in with what I'm doing. But I'm creating new traditions. It's particularly important when the old ones hurt, to focus on doing something for yourself, something that feels good, and it feels good to weave my mom's traditions in with mine. And it helps me to move forward, and not be stuck back in the traditions, just doing what I'm used to or what happened when I was a child, and expecting what happened when I was a child and letting things flow, as I, adult.
That's the thing is adulting is hard,
Yeah.
but like protecting yourself, protecting yourself is something that comes so natural because it's the one thing that all of us need to have inside of us
Mhm.
in order to be able to make it to fucking 31 and 50 and everything else. Like the only way that you know how to do that is because you fucking made it through yesterday, you fucking tard.
You have
But
to.
the thing
Cre-
is you're protecting yourself from the things you love too. That's what saying no is like you're not saying, "Oh my god, yes, let's go fist fight in fucking Stewart's." You're saying, "Yes, I'm going to Christmas." And like those are two completely different fucking things. Like and I don't think anybody wants to grasp that they're two different things. Everybody wants to weave in, oh my God, I'm going to say no to heroin. I'm going to say no to fucking drugs. I'm not going to become an alcoholic like my dad. And I'm not going to Christmas, God damn it. Fuck it all because it's all the same. No, you fucking tard. You're literally protecting yourself from becoming an alcoholic and doing heroin, but you're also protecting yourself from feeling okay going back to Christmas after grandma died because grandma's the main person that you cared about. Dude, there's 50 other fucking people in that circle that fucking care.
Yeah.
You just want to be blind because grandma was number one.
Yeah. At that point, pause yourself. Pause. Stop, drop, and roll for a minute. When you're starting to feel all those emotions, there's a holidays full of emotions. And one thing that sticks with me, that an old friend used to say to me is feelings are fickle fuckers. And it's true. It's absolutely true. I challenge you during these times. Ask yourself some questions, talk to yourself, and use that inner dialogue. Does this on the yes or no? Does this yes like nourish my soul? Is it going to be a net positive, or is it going to drain me completely? That right there, you might know your answer. Another thing is, will future me be glad that I showed up? Because I know that me right now is really fucking glad that I said yes to that day at the pizza parlor.
My
So,
my boss says this shit and I hate how autistically he explains everything like this, but it's so beautiful at the same time.
yeah.
And he says everything is a type of fun. One is like roller coaster. Type one fun is like roller coaster fun. It's fun right now. You will not have a memory of your first fucking roller coaster. You'll not have a memory of your 30th fucking roller coaster unless you shit on yourself or puked all over yourself and you fucking giggled afterwards. There's type 2 fun that's hard when you're doing it, but thoroughly it will give you memories that will last a lifetime. And then there's type 3 fun that is never fun in any of it, but you're like, "Oh my fucking god, I actually made it through it."
Okay.
There's a lot of things in your life that if you say no to all three types of fun, you will never have any of the memories that you hold to the cheer and the joy that you have.
No, yeah. I mean, give yourself the leeway, say yes with a boundary of I'm going to stay here for an hour. At the first hour, I'm going to say to myself, self, how you feeling right now? Are you able to, move forward? Are you able to stay? Do you need to go? Are you feeling overwhelmed? So that's a start, and it's okay to do that. Redefine those boundaries. Yeah, but for an hour. Yes, but maybe not this year. Let's get together in January when there's not so many people on the roads, because I have a really hard time with that.
Yeah.
Something that helps you, but also lets the other person know that, hey, I'm here for this. I'm here for this, but that particular thing it's not it's not comfortable for me, right now. It's okay.
Yep.
You know,
Some
you're
people are one-on-one people. Some people are you have 50 people in a fucking group.
mm,
And some people,
it's true.
struggle.
Yeah,
But the thing
you're
is if you buy into your own bullshit and you say no always because, oh, I don't like people, I don't want to do this, you're going to make yourself extremely bitter because you're wondering why people don't show up.
No, I absolutely agree. Yeah, you have to, when you're saying no all the time, you need to literally take a look inward and be like, why am I saying no all the time? I mean, that's where I made the change. That was the turning point for me. I had to say, a lot of people, when we talk about this stuff, they're like, well, how do I do that? Well, I didn't know, so why would you? Just out of the blue. What I did was I felt myself saying no, but then I felt started feeling guilty about saying no. And so when I started feeling guilty about saying no, that was a chord in me that was, vibrating, and I wanted to know why. So I had to dig into, first of all, why I said no, and then why I'm feeling guilty for saying no. And they came together with, okay, I'm saying no because I'm not comfortable, going there for this 4 hour event, that's going on. I don't know if I can stay that long. So that's when I started thinking, okay, self, well, let's pare it back. People aren't going to be happy with that. Some people are going to take it as a slight, and not look at the positive of it. Maybe that person didn't realize that I was in such deep, deep, deep grief and such a cocoon that going was, uh, it was huge for me. Going for any amount of time was huge for me. You know, maybe you don't have the conversational skills with that person that you can tell them that, but maybe that person didn't realize that that was a thing for you, and maybe that's why they felt slighted. That you only stayed an hour or whatever.
Or
But
or you're so like focused on what the text says or the paper says that, oh, this thing's 4 or 5 hours long. And most people expect nobody to show up or expect people to show up for an hour, hour and a half, and then fucking leave. Like unless you're a part of that inner circle where it's like you helped set it up, you helped clean it up, you helped the entire time. Most people don't expect all day every day from everything.
yeah, yeah, no, I mean, just showing up, for a little bit it's important. You showed up. You're allowed to protect your energy, but you also want to stay open to life. You don't want to, and it's hard. It's tough, especially in grief, in because that's what I know. But especially in grief, it's really hard to go from the no's to the yeses. And it's all about growth, and growth is going to be uncomfortable. It's going to be a different space, because you're not all in the cocoon anymore. The cocoon's breaking, so every crack of the cocoon is going to make you a little bit more uncomfortable because you're not you're not in your little safe blankie anymore. And that's okay. It's okay. For me, I'm not one. Very few and far between will you find me in an arena with a ton of people. That's just not something that I'm comfortable doing. I've done it. Yep, I've done it. I'd rather go to the racetrack outside and watch monster trucks than go to a huge arena inside. It's just one of my things. It's always been one of my things. I've never been inside enclosed places, a lot of people. It's just something that I do. But now, if it's something's there and I give myself a time limit to be with all those people in that enclosed space, and then I nope out when I'm feeling uncomfortable. A Christmas party this week. I had a holiday party, you gotta say for work. But the holiday party this
PC.
yeah. So my whole department and we moved into a different department. So it's all new people and it's like three floors of people. And we're having this potluck and people I don't know, a lot of people, people, and I usually nope out and decide to work from home on those days, because I can. But I made myself, I set myself up for success, and made myself do something. And I went to work that day in the office, and I went down to the party, and I sat with people I don't usually, not they're not outside of my unit. I actually sat with people in my unit that I knew of, but not people that I usually, chill with. And it was nice, but I needed to nope out at a certain point, and I did, and that was okay. So it's really important to move through the holiday season, taking the quiet time and asking yourself the whys.
Yeah. And maybe I see this in a way that a lot of people don't. But I see so many things in life as what if. What if I didn't go to work and met Bree? I don't have somebody who I'm currently going to marry, who's the mother of one of my children, like, and has helped me heal through so much fucking shit. What if I didn't go to a concert and we enjoyed something? Or what if I didn't go somewhere and meet somebody who ends up becoming my best friend? Even if it's for a year, like that person, it has so much meaning to you at some point. Yeah, you could say what if negative things, but like, why the fuck would you do that? If you sit here and worry about the negatives and everything, then you're wondering why you should go to work today because car travel is very unsafe. I could blow a tire, I could get pulled over, 50 million different fucking things. But what if something positive fucking happens?
Mhm.
What if your Hallmark movie happens today? Because guess what, motherfucker? Those stupid fucking Hallmark movies happen someplace, and half of the time they're in small fucking towns. So why
Yeah.
not just fucking live it?
Yeah, absolutely. Like, live it. You gotta ask yourself and keep the balance in question, like we were talking about earlier, and circling it back. You gotta be able to see where do I feel stretched too thin. What might I need to say no to so that I can say yes to these things that I actually need to do to make progress. If you're really trying to make progress, you need to break through some of those no's, and give yourself boundary yeses. And that's okay. Ask yourself, where have I been closing myself off? What yes could bring that connection or meaning that I'm looking for? Because if you're looking to come out of your cocoon, um, it's going to feel uncomfortable because, like I just said, change is uncomfortable. Growth is uncomfortable. If it's not uncomfortable and you're not becoming a different person or a better person, then you're not doing it right, in my opinion. Because so
No,
long in my life, I didn't want to be uncomfortable. So that's why I wasn't doing these things.
growth hurts.
Hmm.
Growth hurts because
Hmm.
accountability hurts, because changing things hurts, because
Hmm.
not being comfortable hurts.
Hmm.
It is the story of being stuck in between a rock and a hard place. The only way the fuck to grow out of it is to actually grow. It's
Yeah,
not walking backwards.
being the asshole, and realizing that you're the asshole sometimes hurts. Yeah, it absolutely does. But there's a point in a lot of people's lives where they don't want to be wrong. They don't want to be the asshole. You know what I mean? Um,
Or
maybe
you
they're
don't want to be the positive version of the asshole to help somebody else grow.
true, but you can't pull growth out of people either. They have to be ready. They have to be ready for that
No,
growth.
but a lot of people will sit there and they won't say anything. A lot of people will sit there and just, they'll figure it out. Sometimes that accountability buddy, that asshole, that person that you have by your side will normally be the person that jumpstarts whatever the fuck you're going to do in your life. And sometimes those people, if they never said anything, it changes absolutely everything.
Yeah.
There's so many things that have parity. There's so many things that have a mirror to them that people just genuinely don't understand. And that mirror is so hard for some people to grasp. And then there's some people that grasp it and thoroughly understand it and will use it every day.
Yep. Absolutely. I just feel once you know, it's one of those things. Once you see it, you can't unsee it. Thing. You know, once you see that growth exists and how you can grow as a human being, you can't unsee it. So then, when you stay stagnant, you're the asshole. You know, when you don't look inward when something happens, you're the asshole. You know, you got to notice things about yourself. You know, and yourself is the first place you need to start. You know, so when you get past that point in your life, everybody goes through your self stages, and you know, because you want to break out of the family, sometimes it's abusive, sometimes whatever reason it is, you know. Just notice, and make notice, meaning notice yourself, notice what makes those strings vibrate within yourself, and you know, not reacting when those chords are vibrating, waiting until those chords are done vibrating to make decisions. But when you make those decisions, whether it be the yes or whether it be the no, do it with intention. Don't do it based off pure feelings, because you don't want to um, you don't want to miss, like you said, you don't want to miss out on something that could have been designed for your life.
Or even the big things like what happens if I get into a car wreck or whatever the day after one of those concerts with the kids and everything else this year? Like, what happens if we don't go to that? They don't have those memories. They don't have those thoughts. They don't have those things that they could hark back on as a big, impactful thing that, like, actually meant something. Like, those concerts were such a fucking grounding pad for Nick to where he was able to stand up and stand 10 toes down on, hey, no, I'm not wrong in this situation. It's okay that you were wrong, but I'm going to stand on the fact that you were wrong.
Right.
Like, and those things are so, 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 so impactful that I don't think a lot of people grasp. Is it could always just be going to fucking pottery class when you don't like fucking pottery. It could be going to go to an art class or paint or go to the fucking park with your kids or your friends or whatever. Those things genuinely could impact you. They could bring you out of fucking depression. It could be the light out of the fucking tunnel, but you have to accept the fact that the light is in front of you.
Yeah, you could hate pottery, but on the way to pottery, when you stopped at Dunkin' Donuts to get that latte, you know, you saw someone you hadn't seen in years and made the reconnection. You know, I mean, it could be anything, because life is full of I don't believe in coincidences. Life is full of chances. But when you fall into your dark times, when you fall into those cocoon times, it's okay. But also coming out of them is okay. It's okay to move forward. It's okay to still grieve a parent. In my case, it's okay to still grieve parents while you're moving forward, in your own life, knowing that you're doing this work, and not placing blame on things maybe in your past or on yourself anymore. It's okay to move forward. It's okay to do those things. Um, and I think that it's important to know that during these very stressful times for a lot of people, um, when when you're asked, you don't have to answer perfectly. You don't have to answer to appease other people, and you don't have to make all these decisions at one time. It's okay to take your time. It's okay to do what feels good to you. But reach outside. Reach outside your goddamn comfort zone and do something to get yourself out of that cocoon, because
But
there's more
doing
life out there.
but doing what's good is not always doing what's the right answer to make you feel comfortable.
No, that's why I mean you have to get out your comfort zone
Yeah.
for sure.
Everything in this world, everything is shady. Everything has a shadow to it. Everything has a mirror to it. And, you could sit here and go down a path. And I would not tell anybody to do this because it makes you fucking freeze in every single decision. And I did it for a good 6 months. But you could relive every single decision that you've ever made and play out the exact answer of, oh, well, what happens if I do the opposite? Some things, it only changes that day. Some things, it changes the rest of your fucking life because everything is shady. Everything has an impact, everything has a decision process, and everything else. So stand the fuck up. Get the fuck up out of your bed. Stop feeling guilty for wanting to live when things changed because you have a lantern to light. You have a road to walk, And whether that road is lonely or filled with people is completely dictated by you. But if you
Yeah,
tell your best
absolutely.
friends no, you tell your family no, you treat everybody like they're a fucking burden and you don't want to be around. Soon enough, you are the burden. Soon enough, you are the one that doesn't have people to be around. Guess
Yeah,
what? You can grow past it.
you can grow past it. And one more thing, because I know you're rapping, is that I really feel like you can say no. You can feel the relief instead of the guilt. You can do all the things, but you can honor yourself while doing it. And you can honor those you love while doing it. But really do step out of there. You don't have to over explain. You don't have to please people. And you don't have to say yes out of guilt rather than your desire to do something. But do something to get out of it. And like I was uh, going back into the doing something, people are always asking in most of the comments that we get are how the hows. Early in the next year, I want to do a an episode on those comments and get into the house. So stay tuned for that.
Yeah, I've been thinking about doing a few different things with everything
Yeah.
and seeing maybe if we're able to get a strict schedule, which we haven't been able to do yet. Maybe next year is the way that this is done. But maybe these episodes are live. Maybe you guys are reading interacting with us in the comments and they're 45-minute blocks. Or maybe everything stays the same. Not sure yet. We'll see how that works. We'll see how lighting that lantern works for you guys and us because life is hell. We'll see you fucking next time.
Let's do it
And
together.
bye.
Goodbye.